Consider for a moment the silent potential locked within a single, unassuming seed. On its own, it appears dormant, a mere speck of unrealized life. It is nothing more than a promise. But when this seed, the vessel of the active, projective spark of life, the masculine principle is laid to rest in the embrace of the dark, fertile earth, a miracle unfolds. The soil, representing the receptive, nourishing womb of existence, the feminine principle welcomes this potential. From their union, a dynamic process of creation is initiated. That which was simple and seemingly inert begins a magnificent transformation, eventually rising as a grand tree, a testament to life, strength, and purpose. This beautiful spectacle of nature is not a random occurrence. It is a perfect illustration of the seventh great Hermetic principle, the law of gender. Just as the seed and the soil unite to create, everything in our cosmos, from the vast galaxies to the intricate workings of our own minds and spirits, depends on this sacred interplay. The balance between masculine and feminine energies is the fundamental engine of creation, transformation, and manifestation. In this exploration, we will journey deep into this universal law, uncovering how it governs every facet of our reality, from the tangible world around us to the unseen spiritual realms. We will reveal the profound secrets of how these two seemingly opposite, yet perfectly complementary, forces collaborate in a cosmic dance to generate and sustain all of life. The law of gender stands as one of the most profound teachings of the seven Hermetic principles. It moves far beyond the conventional understanding of male and female, connecting us to a universal dynamic of polarity that breathes life into all of creation. At the very heart of this law is a singular, powerful truth. Everything in existence contains two essential and complementary aspects, the masculine and the feminine. These are not references to biology or societal roles, but rather to archetypal forces, the foundational energies that architect the very fabric of the cosmos. The masculine represents the energy that is active, expansive, and outward moving. It is the initial creative impulse, the directed will that sparks action and sets the universe in motion. Think of it as the focused ray of sunlight that pierces the atmosphere to touch the earth, without which no life could ever hope to germinate. In contrast, the feminine symbolizes the energy that is receptive, nurturing, and generative. It is the fertile ground that takes the masculine spark and gestates it, transforming a simple seed into a complex, living tree. It is the power of introspection, the wisdom of intuition, and the profound capacity to cultivate and create from within. These forces should never be viewed as being in conflict. They are not oppositional. They are complementary, like the two inseparable halves of a perfect whole. Together, they form the bedrock of universal harmony. It is crucial to understand that masculine energy is not the exclusive domain of men, just as feminine energy does not belong solely to women. These are universal archetypes, residing within every single being, in a constant, dynamic interplay that shapes our inner and outer worlds. Let us delve deeper into the nature of the masculine. In the Hermetic context, masculine energy is the principle of action. It is movement, logic, direction, and the raw force of creation. It is the catalyst that converts latent potential into tangible reality. Without this active spark, there can be no motion. Without motion, there can be no creation. Yet, like any universal principle, masculine energy demands balance to be constructive. When it flows in harmony, it is a powerful river that can carve canyons through mountains and deposit fertile silt upon the lands, bringing life and progress. But when it becomes imbalanced, that same river can swell into a destructive tsunami, wiping away everything in its path. Masculine energy is often represented by potent symbols: the sun, with its unwavering and illuminating light; the sword, representing discernment, clarity, and the power to cut through illusion; and lightning, the instantaneous flash of insight and immense power. These archetypes beautifully capture its core nature. The masculine brings us the gift of reason and analytical thought, casting light upon our path and granting us the clarity needed to navigate life's complexities. It provides the propulsive drive to surmount obstacles and to face the adversities of life with fortitude and courage. Like a perfectly aimed arrow soaring towards its target, it is the force that maintains our focus, keeping our eyes fixed on our goals. This energy is closely associated with the left hemisphere of the brain, the seat of logical reasoning, strategic analysis, and linear thinking. When we channel this energy effectively, it empowers us to become architects of our own destiny, true achievers in the world. In the field of analytical psychology, Carl Jung identified powerful archetypes that personify this masculine energy. We have the warrior, the embodiment of disciplined courage and unwavering resolve. He teaches us that true strength is not merely physical, but lies in the mental and spiritual determination to confront any challenge that arises. Then there is the king, the symbol of just leadership, wisdom, and integrity. The king does not rule through force, but guides with sagacity, creating a realm of stability and order for all to thrive in. We also have the magician, the master of transformation who wields knowledge as his power. He represents the pinnacle of logic, the insatiable curiosity of the masculine spirit to understand and influence the world. Finally, there is the lover, who channels his immense passion not into conquest, but into the creation and nurturing of profound, meaningful connections. These archetypes are not external figures. They are facets of the divine masculine that we must all recognize and integrate in a balanced way to unlock our fullest potential. However, when this potent energy falls out of balance, the signs are unmistakable and often destructive. An excess of masculine energy manifests as a tyrannical impulse to dominate. The individual seeks to control every person and situation, convinced that their perspective is the only one of validity. This authoritarian stance leads to unyielding rigidity, leaving no space for collaboration, adaptation, or listening. This suffocating posture poisons relationships, stifles creativity, and cultivates a perpetual atmosphere of conflict and tension. The healthy desire to achieve morphs into a toxic addiction to competition. Every interaction becomes a battleground, a ceaseless struggle to prove superiority, even in the most trivial of matters. This hyper-competitive mindset inevitably breeds isolation, transforming potential allies into perceived rivals. Logic becomes an absolute monarch, silencing the vital counsel of emotions and intuition. This can lead to a profound sense of inner emptiness, a feeling of constantly fighting the world without any understanding of the deeper why. Conversely, a deficiency in masculine energy presents its own set of debilitating challenges. The potential for greatness may exist, but the activating force to bring it into being is absent. The individual finds themselves in a state of creative paralysis, feeling incapable of taking action, perpetually delaying crucial decisions, and shirking responsibilities. This leads to a life mired in procrastination and apathy. Days, weeks, and years can pass by without any sense of direction or purpose, like a ship adrift on a vast ocean without a rudder or a sail. Without the masculine drive, there can be no clarity of purpose. Life devolves into a sequence of meaningless actions, resulting in deep-seated frustration and a haunting sense of futility. This state naturally breeds insecurity and passivity. A lack of faith in one's own power leads to a crippling dependence on others to make choices and to lead the way. Instead of being the protagonist of their own life story, the individual becomes a mere spectator. They demonstrate a pronounced fragility in the face of life's challenges. The masculine energy is what grants us the resilience and courage to face difficulties head-on. Without it, even minor obstacles can seem like insurmountable barriers. Masculine energy, in its essence, is the fire that both warms and transforms. When it is balanced, it is our faithful guide, leading us with courage, clarity, and an unwavering sense of purpose. It is not simply a force that builds empires and achieves goals. It is also the force that protects, leads, and inspires. The conscious cultivation of this energy is a profound act of self-love, a powerful affirmation of the divine creative power that resides within each and every one of us. Now, let us turn our attention to its divine counterpart, the feminine energy. This is the receptive, fluid, and intuitive dimension of all things. It finds its home in the right hemisphere of our brain and is intimately connected to our feelings, to subtlety, to deep intuition, to a meticulous attention to detail, to profound insights, to receptivity, to ancestral wisdom, to boundless compassion, to enduring patience, to lightness of being, to unbridled creativity, and to art. This gentle yet immensely powerful force is present within everyone, irrespective of biological gender, serving as one of the two fundamental poles of universal equilibrium. While the masculine energy can be visualized as an arrow, linear and moving purposefully forward, the feminine energy is the very space that embraces that arrow, the matrix that transforms its kinetic force, and the context that gives its journey meaning. In Hermetic philosophy, feminine energy is often called the passive principle, but passive here must not be confused with inertia or weakness. In this context, passivity means profound receptivity, the capacity to absorb, to nurture, and to transmute. It is the mystery, the deep well of intuition that connects us to the unseen realms. It is the force that enables us to weave intricate bonds of connection and to feel the very pulse of life in all its magnificent fullness. This energy manifests in our moments of quiet pause, of deep inner listening, and of heartfelt compassion. It is what allows us to understand without the need for words, to feel beyond the limitations of reason, and to create something beautiful from what appears to be nothing. One of the most elegant examples of feminine energy in the natural world is the lunar cycle. The moon, with its rhythmic phases of waxing and waning, is a perfect symbol of the fluidity, receptivity, and constant transformation that characterize the feminine principle. Just as the moon exerts its silent, invisible influence upon the ocean tides, feminine energy possesses a power that is subtle yet profoundly impactful, governing the natural cycles and processes of life. During its growth from the new moon to the full moon, we witness its capacity to embrace and to nurture light. And during its decline, from the waning moon back to the new, we perceive its power of introspection, release, and renewal. This celestial dance perfectly mirrors the essence of the feminine: to create, to transform, and to rest in a state of perfect harmony with the natural rhythm of the cosmos. Jung also identified a series of powerful archetypes in the collective unconscious that represent the multifaceted nature of feminine energy. We have the mother, the ultimate nurturer, protector, and source of life and security. This archetype represents the boundless capacity to care for, to nourish, and to protect, both on a physical and emotional level. In nature, we see this in the fierce devotion of an animal caring for its young, or in the fertile soil that unconditionally nourishes all life. Then there is the maiden, who represents youth, untapped potential, innocence, and boundless curiosity. She is the raw creative energy at the dawn of new cycles. She symbolizes purity and an unbridled enthusiasm for life, bringing a fresh, renewing energy, much like the season of spring when the world blooms and all things feel new and possible again. We also have the witch, or the crone, who represents deep introspection and the accumulated wisdom of a life fully lived. She is the wise woman who guides and illuminates with profound insight, like the waning moon that invites us into quietude and moments of deep reflection. Finally, there is the queen. This archetype masterfully unites the power to lead with the wisdom of the heart. She is both just and compassionate, governing with a balanced and nurturing hand. She represents feminine energy at its peak of integration and expression. But just like its masculine counterpart, feminine energy can also fall into a state of imbalance, manifesting in ways that are detrimental, either through excess or deficiency. When feminine energy is in excess, we lose our anchor. We become unmoored, dominated by a turbulent sea of emotions, lacking the necessary structure to navigate life's challenges. Everything feels intensely personal and overwhelming. Minor problems are amplified into major crises, and there is a pronounced tendency to become trapped in cycles of debilitating feelings like sadness, anxiety, or fear. This leads to uncontrolled emotional states and a severe lack of personal boundaries. Extreme receptivity results in an inability to say no. The ideas, energies, and demands of others are absorbed indiscriminately, leading to energetic overload, codependency, and eventually, a sense of victimization. The individual feels ensnared by their circumstances, unable to take sovereign control, and begins to blame all external factors for their situation. Conversely, when feminine energy is deficient, we suffer a profound disconnection from our creative and nurturing essence. This leads to a silencing of our intuition. There is an immense difficulty in listening to one's own inner voice, or in truly understanding what others are feeling. The person becomes brittle and rigid, distancing themselves from the natural, flowing current of life. New ideas cease to arise. The inner world feels barren and desolate, and the simple joy of creating or nurturing something disappears. Without the softening influence of feminine energy, empathy fades. The person may become emotionally distant, cold, and unable to form deep, meaningful connections. When feminine energy is balanced, however, the benefits are profound and become evident in every aspect of life. There is a greater capacity for empathy, the ability to listen deeply and to understand others without becoming burdened by their emotions or creating unrealistic dependencies. There is a powerful reconnection with one's intuition, that inner compass that always points toward truth. The true power of the feminine lies in its unique ability to generate life, to connect deeply with others, and to create beauty from within. Like Mother Earth, who ceaselessly generates and nurtures, a balanced feminine energy is a wellspring of wisdom, creativity, and profound inner peace. It allows us to flow with life, to adapt to challenges with serenity and grace. Its true strength is found not in force, but in its softness, and in its remarkable ability to perceive and transform the world from the inside out. The law of gender is not limited to the human experience. It is a universal constant that permeates the entirety of the cosmos. From the unfathomable expanses of space to the most delicate microscopic processes, it is the supreme force that governs all of creation and motion. To fully grasp the magnitude of this law, we must observe its manifestations across the diverse tapestry of existence, where the masculine, active, and feminine, receptive, principles are in a perpetual state of collaboration to create, to transform, and to sustain. This law is not confined to the visible physical world. According to the Kybalion, it is a force that transcends and operates on all levels of being. It manifests in unique and complementary ways across the three great planes: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. Each plane is a mirror, reflecting this divine dance between the masculine and feminine, demonstrating how the entire universe is governed by the perfect harmony of these polarities. In the plant kingdom, for instance, this interaction is the very basis for the perpetuation of life. Pollen, the masculine element, is carried by the wind or by insects to the ovary of a flower, the feminine vessel. There, fertilization occurs, resulting in the creation of fruits and new seeds. In the animal kingdom, we witness countless mating rituals that beautifully reflect this dance of polarities. The male often engages in elaborate courtship, displays a masculine action, and the female chooses her mate and nurtures the young, a feminine receptivity, thus ensuring the continuation of the species. In the grand theater of existence, the relationship between the masculine and feminine principles is a cosmic ballet, where each partner plays an essential, irreplaceable role in the act of creation. The masculine principle carries the sacred responsibility of directing energy. It acts as the initial, activating force that awakens the latent creative potential residing within the feminine principle. However, it is the feminine, in its very essence, that performs the miracle of creation itself. This fundamental dynamic manifests across every plane of existence, whether physical, mental, or spiritual. The feminine is the sacred matrix, the alchemical vessel that transforms a formless impulse into a tangible form, giving life and substance to what was previously only a possibility. And yet, it is a dance that requires both partners. Neither can act alone. The masculine, no matter how potent or focused, is utterly incapable of producing any tangible result without the receptive and fertile feminine. And the feminine, no matter how fertile or rich with potential, lacks the initial creative spark, the directional impulse that is provided by the masculine. This sacred union is reflected in the very structure of life itself. In many forms of existence, both principles are seamlessly integrated within a single being, coexisting as inseparable components of a unified whole. This is why, in every aspect of the organic world, we find the masculine residing within the feminine, and the feminine contained within the masculine, like the ancient symbol of the yin and yang, forever dancing in a state of eternal, harmonious balance. Within every single human being, there is a sun and a moon, a king and a queen. When these two inner archetypes learn to dance in perfect harmony, the soul blossoms into its fullest expression. The balance between masculine and feminine energies within us is the ultimate secret to achieving inner harmony and creating a powerful magnetic field capable of attracting our deepest desires into our lives. The ancient alchemists understood this profound truth. They called this inner union the alchemical marriage, a powerful symbol for the fusion of the active, logical masculine principle with the receptive, intuitive, feminine principle to create a whole, integrated, and awakened being. This internal marriage is not just a poetic metaphor. It is the master key to transmuting the lead of the ordinary self into the gold of an enlightened and fulfilled version of oneself. It is a profound spiritual and psychological practice that refers to the sacred process of integrating our internal opposites. The masculine energy represents our logic, our capacity for action, and our focus. The feminine energy symbolizes our intuition, our receptivity, and our boundless creativity. Together, they form a perfect, self-sustaining unity, much like the Taoist yin-yang, where each force contains the seed of the other. Before you can achieve this balance, it is essential to engage in self-reflection. Which of these two energies do you perceive most strongly in your life right now? Be honest with yourself. This will reveal which internal energy is currently in a dominant position. Now, let us explore some simple yet powerful practices to help you consciously balance these vital energies within you. First, embrace dance and expressive body movement. Dance is a sublime practice that is both symbolic and physical, and it is a perfect way to balance both energies. Put on some music and simply allow your body to flow freely, to move in whatever way feels natural and intuitive. This is your feminine energy expressing itself. Then, consciously incorporate deliberate, strong, and rhythmic movements. This is you invoking your masculine energy. Second, cultivate the partnership of intuition and action. Actively integrate moments of quiet introspection with concrete, decisive actions. Dedicate specific time in your day to simply sit in silence and listen to the subtle whispers of your intuition, your feminine wisdom, but do not stop there. Once you receive an insight, use your masculine energy to plan your steps clearly and logically, to manifest your intentions in the world. Before embarking on a new creative project, allow yourself the space to dream, to visualize, and to feel into the project, feminine, and then develop a structured, step-by-step plan to execute it, masculine. Third, work consciously with your internal archetypes. In the landscape of your unconscious mind, the masculine and feminine principles take the form of powerful archetypes, such as the king and the queen, or the warrior and the sage. Ask yourself, which of my internal archetypes feels weak or neglected? Which one needs to be strengthened to bring me into greater balance? Then, visualize yourself embodying the unique qualities of that archetype in your daily life. The integration of these energies is not just an esoteric spiritual practice. It is something that can and should be applied to the practicalities of your daily routine. Here is how you can bring this balance into different areas of your life. At work, use your masculine energy to organize your tasks, set clear goals, and execute your plans with focus. But also, trust your feminine energy to find creative, out-of-the-box solutions and to navigate interpersonal dynamics with intuition and empathy. In your relationships, allow the masculine to lead with courage and to provide a sense of safety and protection, while allowing the feminine to nurture, to understand, to listen deeply, and to embrace with compassion. Truly healthy relationships are a beautiful reflection of this dynamic balance. In your spiritual life, seek the divine with the discipline and devotion of the masculine, but also with the surrender, trust, and receptivity of the feminine. In many esoteric traditions, the alchemical marriage is often represented by powerful symbols, such as the sacred union between the king and the queen in medieval alchemy. This potent symbol serves as a timeless reminder that the true transformative union does not happen outside of us, but within us. It happens at the moment we recognize that all polarities, all opposites, exist as divine components of our own soul. The union of the masculine and the feminine is not the meeting of two opposing forces fighting for supremacy. It is the sacred fusion of that which we already are. It is the profound moment when we cease to see ourselves as fragments and finally realize that we are, and always have been, the whole. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of creation. May you walk forward in harmony, embracing the divine dance of energies within you. If this video was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And now, leave a comment below and tell us one thing you are grateful for today.